Ukulele says, welcome back to another video. This week is a little bit different. Many of you enjoyed my reaction video to my class's 6-week progress but wanted to see a little bit more of the journey. So this time in this 6-week block I decided to take a little video before and after each class, and I do have a couple of progress updates along the way as well. This is all a learning curve for me too, but actually it was a really fun and enjoyable process documenting it all and just really allowing myself to kind of think about how I'm teaching things, what I would do differently, how I would change things in the future. I think it's a nice fresh perspective. If you would like to see the full finished result, you can see my reaction video and you can also see the full video on my YouTube channel, so don't forget to check that out. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy this little journey of the 6-week block. We are playing the Cures, Just Like Heaven, which is also on my YouTube channel, so you can also check that out too. So enjoy and let me know what you think. Overall, week 1 is about getting to grips with chords. It's about getting to know what the chords are, which fingers you use for each, and most importantly how you actually change from chord to chord, because that can sometimes change depending on which chord becomes before or after. I've put the intro and verse chords, the chorus chords, so there are less elements I guess to work with. However, the challenge for these guys is going to be the different mixture of chords. The reason that I've picked the different chords is just to put people out their comfort zones a little bit and to hear how different chords can be played, to get them to experiment, think about how they would like to arrange things. I want you to experiment a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do one strum of each, A, E, B minor 7 and D. And I want you to try the different versions of the chords, so just try whatever. So try the ones up here, you can try these ones, try mixing and matching, whatever you like. And we'll do that a few times in a row, and then we'll do the same with the chorus. So 1, 2, 3, keep going just a few times, just gonna be a mess sometimes. Remember, you've also got that extra layer of pressure because you have to play at the same time as everybody else. So if you go home and play around with the chords, take your time, just do a bit of the muscle memory back and forth. And play around with it a little bit. Because it is just like learning a new chord. When you first learned C, F and G, you probably really had to go back and forth to get it. So this is just the exact same thing. Okay, so this is week 2. We've got the chords here. No diagrams, because I do want them to see if they can remember the different shapes and things as well. So it's going to be a really, really interesting lesson. Okay, so it's Friday. It's a couple of days after my Tuesday night classes, so I've had a little bit of time to reflect on week 2. I never got any footage of the actual classes playing, but mostly because we were doing a very similar thing as to what we were doing last week, which is focusing on the chords, the muscle memory and the changes before we move on to the rhythm. And the reason for that is it's super, super important to make sure that you know exactly where you're going with the chords, you know exactly which chord comes next, you know exactly what chords you're playing for each section of the song, the intro, the verse, the chorus, because once that's ingrained and you know what you're doing with that and it becomes a little bit more second nature, then you can really spend more time focusing and concentrating on the rhythm. I ended up a bit of a tangent this lesson because we're looking at different ways to play the chords, because I'm catering to a few different abilities and levels. We had some bar chord versions, twinkly chord versions. The main thing was remembering which chords we'd learned last week, and thankfully everyone had remembered the exact shapes of the chords and most people had practiced it as well, which meant that we could really spend time looking at different ways to play them. This did mean, however, that a few questions were asked about, oh, what does this chord mean, what about this shape? So we ended up going into a conversation that took us down the route of the musical alphabet, explaining how you move up the chord shapes across the fretboard as well. So I like when people ask the questions because this means that they're starting to get curious. And so far, this is what I've got for my intermediate class. I'm going to write it up as we go along because I'm still thinking about a couple of different things that I'd like to do rhythmically. Just Like Heaven's got a few rhythmic challenges where we're not always strumming on the first beat of the bar, we actually come in early. So yeah, I'll keep give you a wee update after it's happened, and then we'll get a wee update from the class too. So yeah, Rhythm Week is a bit all over the place. Keep going. We started from just one strum per chord. We gradually built it up to changing the chord change, so that where you change the chord on the 4 and rather than on the first beat of the bar. But the catch is you only do that for every other chord. So A's on 1, E sus4 is on the 4 and, B minor's on the 1, and then the D's on the 4 and as well. So actually a little bit trickier than what you would think. So we spent quite a lot of time on that, gradually building it up to then actually doing the official strumming pattern of the song. So that actually ended up taking the full lesson. Of course, there was a couple of tangents along the way speaking about other various rhythm and strumming techniques and things too. But it was actually a really nice lesson, so you can hear how they're getting on in the video. This, I think, might take a couple of weeks, because actually this riff is pretty hefty, pretty heavy. There's a lot going on. Probably should have thought about that in hindsight, but these things happen. Again, we've got a little warm-up where we're using the notes that we're going to be using. We're basically playing a form of the A major scale. But we're starting it from the low G. I know a lot of them have got high Gs, but it's still going to be okay. It's all about building the muscle memory, the dexterity. And then we've got the first 2 parts of the riff there as well. So I've left it at that for just now. If we do make it through a little bit more of that, awesome. But we've got a lot of mixed abilities and things, so I want to make sure we're not going too fast. And we might probably spend quite a bit of time on this next week as well. So maybe a little bit behind in this class, but again, we learn these things as we go, don't we? So this week's update for the classes is actually really good. So we done melody on Tuesday night. It was really fun. I showed them the A major scale first, just to let them hear it. We had a bit of time spending just listening to the notes, and then we went through bit by bit each part of the riff. Again, there was mixed ability, so some people were able to play it right through, some people got 1 or 2 of the parts, but overall we actually made it through the full thing, which was brilliant. So I'm really looking forward to starting to actually slot everything together and all the bits of the puzzle together next week. So yeah, really exciting stuff. Okay, so it was week 5. This week the intermediate class are doing just like Kevin, and we're going to work on connecting the chunks together. We'll probably spend a little bit of time going over the melody again, going over the riff that we went over last week. And then the goal is to start piecing all of the chunks together, which we've not actually done yet, which is very different from a normal approach that I use for the song, but this has been working well, so I'm really looking forward to putting it all together this week. Okay, it's Wednesday, so the day after week 5 of the classes. My intermediate class last night blew my mind. It was so good. I really love this song, and hearing it starting to come together and piecing it all together was really nice. I do have a recording of it, just a voice note recording, so yeah, listening back to that this morning was good. I'm so excited for next week for the finishing touches. Okay, so it's week 6, which means it's the final week. I was so buzzing last week because everything was starting to really come together nicely for this intermediate class. This week I've got a couple of different tweaks just to really tighten things up a little bit. So we're going to only play the riff if you've got a low G for that last bit. And I'm going to just slightly alter the chords shapes that we use for the chorus. And then it's just going to be a case of playing it over and over and over again. And ideally I won't play or shout anything out. I'll just play the cajon and we'll just go with the flow. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, yeah. you're getting of that video. As I said, you can check out the full video of the class performing on my YouTube channel. You can also check out my reaction video to it so that you can see an in-depth analysis of what I thought worked well, what I thought we could improve on for the next time, and just a general analysis of how the class have performed. So don't forget to check that out. You get even more details, lesson materials if you join me on Buy Me a Coffee. You can join the Tab Chat, you can join the Jam Hut, and you'll get access to all these different exclusive things, and you get to learn with me, so that'll be awesome if you go and check that out. But in the meantime, let me know what you think of this video. Let me know if you'd like to see more of this type of thing, because I do think it's a really interesting perspective and maybe not something that we're used to on the ukulele. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time.